But there's more and more people are doing things that you could invest in. You could invest your money in. Starting from £100, people are developing community energy projects. They're really springing up all over the country. Community-supported agriculture, credit unions, land co-ops, worker and housing co-ops, and all these groups have share offers. And veggies who are here, they're part of the Radical Roots sort of secondary co-op, and Radical Roots have got a share offer open at the moment. There are lots of community energy share offers that are open at the moment. You can join, and community supported agriculture. And the thing is, you can get a better return on your money than you do from a bank savings account. So it's not charity. They're not asking you to part with your money, just to park it in a different place. Park it in a place which doesn't contribute to bankers' bonuses. It contributes to doing good things in society. Plus there's open source and cryptocurrencies and things like that. Some very, very clever people out there doing brilliant things. And I think rather than asking, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Those people are already doing it. They're building an alternative economy. And I think it's up to us to get people behind them and to shift our money to them and to try and persuade other people to shift their money to them. They're doing great things. But it's not going to be easy because the corporate sector are going to fight back. And now the main problem with community energy projects is that you need a very, very expensive license to generate electricity for your community. And community energy projects can't afford the licenses. And so what they have to do is to sell their energy to the national grid at 4p a unit, and then buy it back from the national grid at 15p a unit, which is just a giant scam. And it's just too expensive for them to be able to generate the energy for themselves. So that's something we can campaign about. Certainly that's something we can campaign for, to get rid of that. And we used to run through about building courses, and you're right, people do a weekend and basically build a house in a weekend. A group of people get together, build a house in a weekend, and just can't believe it. They just can't believe it. Oh my God, this is so easy, and I didn't know this was possible. I'm going to go out and get myself a few acres in the countryside and build my own house. I'm like, okay, let me talk about the planning system. Because that's where the problem lies. It's not even the availability of land. The land's there, but I don't know how many people know about it. There are two kinds of land in Britain. There's open countryside on which you can build nothing at all, unless you're a farmer. Over 10 hectares, you can build anything you like.
That's a development.
Yeah, and so you can put up a massive concrete barn. But if you're a smallholder, less than 10 hectares, you can't build a little eco cottage. No way. And there's development land which you can build on, but it's prohibitively expensive, and the big developers snap it up immediately anyway. So you're a bit stuck if you want to build your own natural house. So again, I don't know how many people know about this. The Lammas group in Pembrokeshire, they challenged that. But they didn't challenge it in a confrontational way. They worked with Pembrokeshire County Council. Paul will know much more about this. He's over in that neck of the woods. And they helped them write their, what was it called?
Policy 52.
It was called a Sustainable Development Policy or something like that.
Well, yeah, the Pembrokeshire policy was Policy 52, I think.
Yeah, and it was a great policy, and as soon as they helped them write it, they said, right, we want to use this policy we've bought this 150-acre farm, we want to split it into small holdings and allow people to build their own homes on their small holdings, which is not allowed at all. And they said, but we've got a management plan which insists on super eco homes. So off-grid, off mains water, you have to harvest your own rainwater. You have to make 75% of your income from working the land. So it can't be used as a second home. You don't get the freehold. You can't just sell it to anybody. It has to be agreed who's going to move onto the property. And the house has to be built of local natural materials. And it worked. It set a precedent for the UK that actually people started to build their own homes on these small holdings in the open countryside where it had never been allowed before. And from that, again, I'm going to insist, I'm going to bring you in later about this, the old One Planet Development Policy, which was adopted from the Pembrokeshire policy for the whole of Wales. And so now, if you do abide by these super eco criteria, you can build a home in the open countryside in Wales. If you have the skills and the desire to do it, by hook or by crook, you can do it now in Wales. And several have happened already, haven't they?
There's 3 including Lammas. There's 3 permission in Pembrokeshire, and there's Dan and Sarah in Caerphilly who have planning permission. So this country, Britain, that you mentioned, doesn't really exist. I don't recognise it anyway.
Yeah.
And CAT isn't in this country; it's in Wales. You can in Wales. Yeah.
However, the Ecological Land Co-op
In a different country.
In England, in Devon, they have set a precedent for England. They've done exactly the same thing in Devon, but only with 3 small holdings on Green and Reach.
Well, they've got a share offer on.
They've got a share offer on, and they're looking to set up 20 new settlements. And it's not something that the corporate sector has got wind of yet, so they haven't tried to throw barriers in the way of it. So I think that's an excellent thing to get out there and to promote and to get people to throw their money at. When they do start to put barriers in the way, like they have with community energy, then we come to the problem, what are we going to do about that? That's the next big problem. But there are already people really challenging this system, but there are barriers going to be put in their way.